can't take it anymore. My mind's about to go to war. I need someone to save me from myself, to hear me cry when I call out for help. I blame it on the voices that are in my head, wondering if they'll ever be put to bed. Feels like I am close to reaching my wit's end, holding out, but I'm about to blow it up like a volcano. Another day to lose control. There's a fire in my bones. My sight gets blurry, pushing back the tears. Should take a leap of faith and face my fear. I blame it on the voices that are in my head, wondering if they'll ever be put to bed. Feels like I am close to reaching my wit's end, holding out, but I'm about to blow it up like a volcano. Like a volcano. Blow it up like a volcano. What you do, what you do, what you do to me? Can't you see what it means when you're setting free? What you do, what you do, what you do to me? Can't you see what it means when you're setting free? Blow it up like a volcano.
We're on our knees now, I'm screaming out loud. You can't break me down. You can't break me down. We're on our knees now, I'm screaming out loud. You can't break me down. You can't break me down.
All right, all right. What's good? What's good? I can get this music going the way I want it to. What's up, everybody? Hope you guys are having a phenomenal Monday. May 22nd, 2023. We have a pretty interesting day for the indices. Wow. We'll go over that a little bit. We'll touch a little bit on what we were talking about on Friday. If you didn't see the update in the community tab, I will show you. Okay, if you guys can hear me, let me know by dropping a like on the video. You already know our normal sound check routine. Appreciate you guys participating in that. Greatly appreciated. So this looks so bad. In my opinion, this looks terrible. But hey, what are you gonna do? I think there is at least an upside for S&P on a 1 minute time frame. We definitely have consolidation here, and we have a short-term low right there as well. So we'll see what we do, but I would prefer to long up to these highs, but I would want these lows taken out first, and I doubt we're gonna get that because I don't think I got a single thing that I wanted today. You know what I'm saying? So to me, I don't even think I'm going to do anything today. And, you know, there's that. So, you know, when you're out of sync with the marketplace, you're out of sync, and that's it. You know what I'm saying? So I think today was wild because we had Dow just dumping lower and the NASDAQ was rallying. So I shared that on Twitter. Maybe you saw it, maybe you didn't, but I mean, it was like literally straight down for Dow, straight up for NASDAQ. And, you know, what am I supposed to do with that? And I think the S&P kind of did both, but I think it went lower with Dow here. That was that first, the second move rather, in the morning down in here. Okay, so when you see like the S&P and the Dow trading lower, that whole time the NASDAQ was higher. So yeah, it's been a wild day. It's been a wild day. But yeah, let's see if we can get something clean here in the afternoon. But I don't know if we're gonna be here for the whole 3 hours again. At least maybe not today. It's my friend's birthday as well, so I'm probably gonna, go over there a little bit later. I gotta stop by the store, get a couple cigars too, you know. What's good, Andreas? I had a great weekend. How was yours? What's good, Miguel? Ali? Good morning, good afternoon, whatever have you. What's good, Josh? Jose, Max, and Naruto. Very nice, very nice. Dude, I think we hit 40 members, if I'm not mistaken. I think we did it. But as you guys know, YouTube they're behind like 1 or 2 days. I think it's 2 days. So it's hard to know what the current is because they don't give it to you. That's always nice, being behind. Yeah, we had easy money. I think that was actually joined yesterday, and then we had Shiar joined today as well. So congratulations to both of you. I don't know if either one of you are here, but congratulations to our 2 newest members. And I think, yeah, see, so it says active as of yesterday, 39, but then we had the 2 join today. So I think we are officially over 40. That's pretty awesome. That's pretty awesome. Oh man, let me back up. Trillionaire. Oh yeah. Hope everyone had a great weekend as well. I had to work night shift the entire weekend, so not great, but it is what it is. Well, you know, at least you can't trade on the weekend. You know what I mean? So if you can't trade, at least you're able to, bring some money in. You know what I mean? So that is still a good thing. That's what I would focus on. The positive. Was good, Vadu? YouTube using those lagging indicators. Yeah. YouTube's using the MACD. That MACD data. Miguel says 50 members by the end of the week. Money is money either way. Get that bag. Yeah, I think you guys are correct. But, 50 by the end of the week, I'm not entirely sure. That would mean we need at least 2 a day. Like 2 brand new a day. And the channel isn't, as popular as a lot of other channels just yet. So we may not see that level of exponential growth. So it's cool. I'm not worried about it. I have a long-term vision. Long-term vision. Just like in trading, sometimes you need that long-term vision, not the short-term. So I want to put an alert up here, but we can't do anything yet. I'm not straight up buying this. And good God, look at this price action on a 5-minute time frame. This is horrendous. Because we have all this here, And then like it looks like it wants to run up and take these highs. If it doesn't, I'm telling you, if it comes down below these lows, if we come off of that, that might send us higher. So that's actually what that'll actually bring us into the update on from Friday. So if you guys remember, that is exactly what we were looking for, but we didn't get it until today. So unfortunately, you know, I tell you guys all the time, like, look, I have a pretty decent handle on price action, but my timing is not always the greatest. So, you know, we identified this high. If we trade above that, then, you know, depending on how we do that, we may end up running these highs. So on Friday, if you remember, we actually watched the future side, but I did reference the triple Qs. What's good, Nikki? I did reference the triple Qs, and literally we drew this like before this even formed, right? Trading above this short-term high after running some stops, equal lows on triple Qs in the afternoon, equal highs are left open, and then we were looking for that run, but we never got it, right? We went into the close with, you know, some movement, but we never got it. And then this morning, you see exactly what we did. We annihilated those highs and actually ran all of those. So, I mean, yeah, if you held it over the weekend, which I usually don't do, I almost never do that. Not on purpose anyway. If I put an order in and I forget about it, then yeah, I might goof that up. But, you know, it is what it is. But yeah, that was really, really incredible. So the risk reward here, I think was really great. It's just the timing was not, it wasn't there. You know, and why is that? Why is that, do you think? Because if you remember from Friday, you remember what we talked about, these lows here. Remember? That was going to be problematic. I lied. That was going to be on the micros. The micros had the equal lows here. And so you see that even heading into the close, the S&P, you know, was reluctant to rally. We couldn't even make an afternoon high. And then where'd that Sunday's open, right? That Sunday open was where? Below Friday's lows. So that shouldn't come as a surprise to you, because we were looking for that potential, you know, reason for the S&P to trade lower. It's just, we did that on Sunday. So again, my timing's not the greatest, not always the greatest, you know, but it's blending both, you know, it's blending, we got some volatility there. I like that. Again, let's even get those lows. So there's that. And 1214. So I don't think there was any news there. But if this ends up being the old whoop-de-whoop, I want to see us trade higher from there. The only bad part about, not bad per se, but the only really thing I'm looking for is anything on the left over here. And I don't really see anything on like a small time frame that would signify a specific reversal right here. So we're going to wait and see what happens, but I like how we left these highs open. I feel like traders are looking at this like, oh, downtrend, you know, they're going to try and short a retracement, and I think it should likely trade above 42.13 or 42.13. I don't know what I said, sorry, I'm trying to speak too fast. But yeah, let's see how we react from here. And then go from there. But if there was ever a day that I would take off, today's probably that day. Friend's birthday. I haven't wrapped her gifts yet, so I got to do that. Got to stop by the store, grab cigars. Price action has already ran liquidity on two sides, you know, both sides of the market. We ran up, we ran down. Now we're back in the range. So if there was ever a formula, like if there was ever a trade plan for taking a day off, I think today would definitely meet that criteria. You know, so, you know, do what you want with that information. But we are going to take a look at the index ETFs as well, just to make sure that we don't forget anything. Because I don't know what's over here. I don't know what we have. Oh, you know what? we actually may not trade higher. We actually may not. So the SPY ETF has 417.35 as equal lows on a 15-minute time frame. So that's actually Friday morning's low and this morning's low. Matter of fact, let's see if we can pull that up on a, that would be actually these lows together. So I don't actually think we're going to get that in the regular trading hours. At least for the micros, that low was actually ran here. And ES, I think that low was ran as well. That low. So it's a very shallow run. That was a very shallow run. Whereas SPY, I mean, dude, that's I told myself I wouldn't curse this stream, so I'm trying to work on it. Like this, 417.35, low 417.30. Those are identical, like twins. I mean, it doesn't really get better than that. As far as you know, looking for and setting up equal lows. So it's looking like it's reacting all right. So let's see. Market telling me chill today, had a great learning experience today. What did you learn today? Trillionaire, what did you learn today? You see the Dow down 0.36% according to TradingView, and then NASDAQ is up 0.2%. So, yeesh, definitely a disparity there. Definitely a disparity. But I'm trying to see if there's any justification for the other indices to go higher. You know, because I mean, if the S&P's setting up to maybe go higher, it's like, okay, well, what's the NASDAQ going to reach for? And it's hard to tell because we took Friday's high already, right? Okay, well, that's still open for S&P, and the Dow didn't take Friday's high, it took Friday's low. Oh my God. I don't know where it cut out there. But I was saying that S&P took Monday's high and Dow took Friday's low. So, you know, what do we do with that? That's my question. What do we do with that? And to be fair, I don't know what these other lines are. I'm just going to take all that off. It might need the electronic trading hours. Well, both rather, but damn, I can't find what I was looking for. Ah, there we go. I mean, that 5-minute S&P makes it look kind of like a stop run. But then again, so what highs do we go for on NASDAQ and the Dow? I mean, it's doo-doo. So they could trade higher, but I don't see the justification for the NASDAQ here. Only S&P. So if you, I mean, I guess if you wanted to trade S&P by itself, see that 5-minute, like this candle, like it really traded below those lows and it came off of it. So I guess we'll see. I learned if I see something that shakes my confidence in a trade to just let it go. Yeah, I get that. You know, that's kind of like me when deciding to run a red light or not. You know, are you confident or are you gonna stop? So the last time I didn't run the red light per se, but sometimes when it's yellow, you know, it's kind of pedestrian versus the cop. You know, he said, she said, or whatever. So like last time I blatantly ran one a few weeks ago, there was a policeman or policewoman coming the other way. So I was like, oh shit. I mean, see, I already cursed, man. Y'all already got me goofing up. You know, but it's like if you're confident, go for it. If you're not confident, then it's just best to either not trade or it's best to just stop at the yellow light and or like, you know, stop at that light and just be done with it. So I agree, confidence is you know, is key. Hmm. Oh my god. Watch the S&P take those highs and like never give us a retracement. All right, anyways, so while we watch this and potentially wait for a setup to occur, let me borrow a page from the Maxwell Daily Reader. So I talked about this book earlier today. I've actually talked about this book a number of times. And today's May 22nd entry is actually very interesting because there is a Stoic concept in here. A Stoic concept. So it was Seneca in Letters from a Stoic. It was after, I don't remember if it was Nero or whatever emperor was present during Seneca's time. He was banned. Well, all philosophers were banned, but Seneca was banished from Rome, and he's writing hundreds of letters to Lucilius, a friend of his. And in one of the later letters in the book that I tell you guys to read, Letters from a Stoic by Seneca, the Penguins Classics version, he tells his friend that at the end of the day, it would be very beneficial for him to take a review of his day. Okay. To kind of see, you know, what he did, how he acted, what he thought, you know, and stuff like that. So the concept of journaling is, you know, more than 2,000 years old. Okay. And I'm not trying to like rip on Maxwell or any of the other, you know, personal development or leadership gurus today, but a lot of, you know, gurus, they utilize ideas that are not new. Okay. Even though we like to put a spin on it, or we like to modernize old concepts, you know. So it's funny knowing that a lot of what is put out today is actually not original. You know what I mean? Even though it may seem like it's original from that guru or that person that you are, you know, learning things from. So, you know, I just think it's very interesting. But anyway, let me get to the point. May 22nd. Again, this is the Maxwell Daily Reader by John Maxwell. Today's title, I guess, is Start Small. So it says, what you are going to be tomorrow, you are becoming today. It is essential to begin developing self-discipline in a small way today in order to be disciplined in a big way tomorrow. So check this out. There's a list of 10 things to do. And so number 1 is list 5 areas in your life that lack discipline. 2, place them in order of your priority for conquering them. Number 3, take them on one at a time. Number 4, secure resources such as books and tapes. Tapes, lol. You could tell how old John is because we don't use tapes anymore. But anyway, secure resources such as books and tapes that will give you instruction and motivation to conquer each area. Number 5, ask a person who models the trait you want to possess to hold you accountable for it. Number 6, spend 15 minutes each morning getting focused in order to get control of this weak area in your life. Number 7, do a 5-minute checkup on yourself at midday. Number 8, take 5 minutes in the evening to evaluate your progress. Number 9, allow 60 days to work on one area before you go to the next. Number 10, celebrate with one who holds you accountable as you show continued success. And the last part at the bottom, it says, remember, having it all doesn't mean having it all at once. It takes time. Start small and concentrate on today. The slow accumulation of discipline will make one day. The slow accumulation of disciplines will one day make a big difference. Okay? Choose one area from your list and take a step of discipline to it today. So, this idea is not bad. Okay? I like it. But the predominant focus that, at least, that I was going to talk to you about was that part where he said, take 15 minutes at midday and take 5 minutes at the end of the day to, review your day. There was meditations, if you will, not Marcus Aurelius's meditations, but like just meditations in general that I shared a long time ago. I think it was at the beginning of 2022. I don't think it was in 2021. It was probably sometime in 2022. I shared morning meditations. It's either afternoon or midday meditations, and then evening meditations. I put them on the internet. I put them on Instagram, I think it was, and I shared them with my team. So it's a great exercise to do. It's hard to get into, though, because you got to do it every day. But it's very beneficial because you get to catch yourself in all of the shenanigans that you are not supposed to do. You know what I mean? So maybe one day I'll share them to YouTube. Maybe. What do you guys think? Should I do that? Should I share those with all of you? And that 2 minute looks like booty. Let's stick to the 1 minute on this other chart over here. But I don't think I'm feeling any of these entries on a 1 minute time frame. I don't think it looks good. I mean, I think personally this is a stretch, and this definitely waters down the risk reward. But there's a small imbalance right there. So, I mean, I could see it possibly trading into that and then going higher. But the risk reward is too it's too shaky. It's too watered down. So like what? 4208 to 4213? Okay. So that's 5 points. Yeah. And then what's the risk on that? I mean, you could probably get a 1-to-1, maybe, but I don't like one-to-ones. You know what I mean? Like if we just did 13, you know, a one-to-one is that. You know what I mean? And like that, I don't know if I'm feeling that. I don't think I'm gonna be able to pull the trigger on that one. Most of the good stuff, wisdom is written long before any of us were born. The good stuff is still abundant, but it's definitely the game of telephone. Yeah, I like that analogy because in telephone, the whole purpose of that game or exercise really is to demonstrate how the message that starts at the beginning is not the same message that you get at the end. So that's definitely true. And that's definitely that way with trading as well, especially like in the smart money concept community, because I've seen some reels out there that, I mean, I've seen some reels that will just, I mean, I just couldn't believe that. I couldn't believe some of the things that I've seen, like in Instagram reels, YouTube shorts, even like threads, like Twitter threads. I've seen some really terrible ideas, you know? And then some people even have spelling mistakes, and then instead of just deleting the post and then reposting the correction, they'll just, you know, keep it up, but then put the correction later in down the thread. And I'm like, dude, it's just gross, man. You know, everybody wants to be a mentor. Everybody wants to be a teacher. And I'm not saying that that's necessarily a bad thing, but when the community itself contradicts each other, that really is not the most beneficial thing for students that are brand new. You know what I mean? And it's the same thing with everything else. I mean, you see, not that I wanted to get, you know, deep into like religion and stuff like that, but, you know, you see certain pastors that teach differently. You know, like some pastors will teach a whole bunch of things, but never quote the Bible. And then other pastors only read, you know, from the Bible, essentially. So it's like, okay, what are your listeners supposed to do with that when you present conflicting information? And that's what I'm saying. That's damaging to the viewers, to people who don't know the better. So, you know, it's crazy to me that there are people like that. There are a bunch of, you know, online pastors essentially that they preach, but they never quote anything. They never quote other authors. They don't quote the Bible, or I'm sure it's probably the same way for, you know, other religions. I don't really follow, you know, stuff like that on social media, but I've seen it though, scrolling through Instagram. And it's just like, it's crazy, bro. You're just talking just to talk, and that's wild. You know, when I tell you guys things, when I give you my opinion on things, you know, I give you sources, I give you documentation, you know, quotes, books, videos, an article, maybe every once in a while, you know, something to that effect. I don't just tell you what I think and then not have anything to back it up with. Right? Because that's just, well, it's unprofessional for one. And number two, it's like, what makes you think that you can just get your point across, that people should just believe what you say and that's it? Like you have no supporting evidence. You know, people listen when you have proven yourself over and over again, right? Like what did we do here? What did we do here? We outlined the equal highs, but I told you I wanted to see these lows and possibly this low swept first, right? And then what do we get? Well, the market came down here, swept this low, and now it's rallying. And it may run up to 42, 14 or something like that, right? We outlined that before the charts ever printed. So when people see that, they go, oh, okay, that's pretty awesome, because I'm looking at John's screen on one tab, or maybe you have, another monitor or something, and you're looking at your own charts and things that I've outlined, they're happening on your chart prior to them printing. It's like, you cannot fake that, right? But even with information, like meditations or certain ideas that I implement in my life, they are from somewhere. Okay. There was a great story or reel or something that I posted the other day. It was of Ryan Holiday, and he said the reason that you should read, or the reason that we read, is so that way we can learn without having to go through trial and error. And then he went on and said, people have lived thousands of years prior to us who probably smarter than you, they've gone through a lot of trials and tribulations, and so they have these documentations so that way we can learn from that without having to experience things ourselves. And I thought I reshared it. I thought that was really, really awesome. So, I try to do the same thing. I give you guys ideas and where they are from. Okay. I don't just try to make stuff up, out of the blue, like, oh, this seems like a good idea in theory. It's like, no. Ideas that I come across by reading, watching YouTube a little bit, then if I think that idea or theory is potentially good, I'll implement it. And if it is, then I will share it with you guys. Like, oh, this has helped me, so it may help you as well. But I think a lot of people on social media, they jump the gun. They learn one or two things, like, oh, this is an imbalance, and then they take like one good trade, and then all of a sudden they're going to make a bunch of reels and threads on Twitter about imbalances. It's like, bro, you're brand new to this. Like, you don't know everything. I mean, you don't have to know everything, but it's like, the amount of knowledge and experience that you have shouldn't qualify you enough to like be sharing ideas as if you're the expert. Like, you're positioning yourself as the expert when you are not. And that is what hurts the community. It's why I didn't teach a lot about philosophy for a long time, because I'm not an expert in philosophy. I'm not. I mean, I know a lot of things. I've read a lot of books, but that still doesn't make me an expert. But I do what I can, though. But I would never position myself, above someone like Ryan Holiday or Massimo Pigliucci or William B. Irvine or, Gregory Hayes or Sharon LaBelle or anybody like that, So just don't be one of those people is all I'm saying. Don't position yourself as an expert in something that you are not an expert in, because it just damages other people. Because people who don't know, they're going to think that you do know. And when you give them bad information, they're going to run with that. They're going to come into the marketplace, and then they're going to get chopped up. And that just hurts them in the end. So do what you want with that information. It's already been 40 minutes. Oh my God. You guys let me talk too much, man. You guys let me talk too much. So anyway, we will continue to monitor this for just a minute. I think Dow has like 1 minute highs as well. They may end up pushing us higher. So there's a little bit of justification for Dow, I guess. Oh, the Nasdaq's been ripping a little bit too. All right. And let's do a quick update on Euro. The old Euro. Personally, I thought we were going to trade higher today. Then when we didn't, or like we started to, and then we were struggling for a little bit, I went and I looked at dollar, and then I looked at British pound. And when I saw a British pound, I went, oh, that's what I missed. If you look at British pound on a 1 hour time frame, you have some really clean lows at 1.2391. That's been dragging lower, and that would potentially affect the euro as well, but the euro is not really trading all that much lower to a degree. So that 108.5 target that we talked about the other day, I still think that's on the table. I don't think we're going to get there today. And then just inverse that over on the dollar, or like inverse that idea over on the dollar, and then there you have it. Okay. I was looking for silver longs today. You were looking for silver longs, huh? Silver longs. I looked at silver. I think there was some highs, or it might have been, sorry, that's gold. I don't remember. Yeah, this looks terrible. At least on a 15-minute time frame, this looks horrible. Very range bound. Eesh. Well, you know, the daily, I don't really know what to think about that here. That I think is hard to say. Gold, I think it's hard to say as well. Because once we got our target to the downside, Friday was an up day, and then now today, I don't know. You know, I don't know what it's going to do for either one, for either of the metals. But I'm not surprised. So you know how I tell you guys all the time that I believe that gold is the most manipulated asset there is? You know how I say that all the time? So coming back to that argument, not argument, but coming back to that point I was saying earlier, you know, I don't say things just to say things. I try and give you guys proof, you know, of whatever it is opinion that I have, and look at it. I mean, look at it. Short-term high, ran. Short-term low, ran, reversed, creates a high, comes down, takes that low. Actually, it took the high first and then ran that low, and then now it's back into the range, and then actually it took this high as well. And then now it's back into the range. So imagine breakout traders who tried to buy that, they got wrecked. Sell stops, they got in, then the market went higher, they got wrecked. Anyone who was trying to go long, okay, stop below that low, they got taken out. Anyone who was short, they got taken out before this low. So it's just very manipulative. And today is a prime example of that. Look between London and New York today. Between London is here, and well, New York, at least for the FX markets, at 7. I mean, whatever measurement that you want to use, whether, you know, from London up till this point, okay, look at it. It's heavily manipulated. We can all agree, right? like yeah, it is. Dow struggling to go higher, like at all. The Nasdaq looks like it wants to. I mean, we fell like just prior to this short-term high because the morning session high is up here at 850. But given the afternoon where we started, is that 12? Yeah. So afternoon starts, we came down, we swept that low, and then we've taken the lunch high, but the like intra-session high is here. Does it make sense? Let's go back and visit ES again. We have triple highs now. Oh man. Big old stretch. Big old stretch. The 1 hour price look clean. Are you talking about silver? I think we were talking about silver a moment ago. And I think I already did my journaling today as well. The daily Stoic. I think today was about Marcus Aurelius. He said, instead of being good today, you choose tomorrow. So why not today? Something like that. I think I have to revisit it again. But basically, choose to be good today and stop, waiting till tomorrow or waiting for another day. Which is, that's a good idea. Kind of goes against procrastination as well. So I like it. Definitely. Oh, that's interesting. There's a gap right there on the micros and right there too. But that's not seen on E-mini. The only thing on the E-mini is this, I mean, you have this down candle, but that's it's just not. I mean, usually when you want to see a down candle, like a institutional candle or whatever, usually you want it to be closer to the downside than the upside. So that's logically that kind of flops. And that imbalance I think is better, but it doesn't even look like we're going to get that. It just looks like we're fixing to trade up there. That's what it's looking like. Oh man. It looks like it's respecting this gap right here, but to long this late into the move, I think is illogical. Because then now your risk reward is definitely not good. Oh my God. And then SPY doesn't have equal highs, but does have low resistant highs. Dude, I swear I don't even yawn until I'm in front of you guys. I swear. I don't know why. Like I'm chilling, everything is gravy, and then all of a sudden we hop on YouTube and I start yawning. It's like, damn. I mean, darn, It's crazy. Y'all ever been sleepy after an energy drink? Crazy. I slept a lot too. All right. If we leave the triple highs there, we might leave that open. And if we do, that may set up for a little bit of a bigger move later on. But let's do a poll. All right, there you have it. There is our first poll of either the day or first poll of the week. First poll of the week. There is your poll. Is should I release the reflection meditations again? Should I do it or should I not do it? You let me know. You let me know what you want. I can't tell if we hit that down candle or not. We'll just keep it at 1. And again, I wouldn't long this. Me personally, I wouldn't long that. I'm just trying to see if that is going to hold price. So it's just a markup. It's not, you know, a recommendation or anything like that. So 11 of you said yes, that I should release that. You know, what's funny is I released them on my Instagram story. And for my team, it's actually the same size like for a lock screen. So you could even have them as a lock screen. Speaking of lock screens, actually, I did on Twitter. Actually, if you guys follow me on Twitter, yesterday I released the Epictetus one. Oh, I gotta charge my phone too. I just looked at that. I'm on 9%. But I made an image in Canva of Epictetus. It's not things that upset us. It's our judgment about things. So it's a great lock screen. If you want it, it's on Twitter. It's one of my recent tweets. And you may have it. You can share it with a friend. You can post it to your other social media. You don't have to tag me. I really don't care. I mean, people were already reposting it like it was theirs, but you know, it's cool. It's cool. Ooh, that candle closed very, very interestingly. Oh, look at that. You don't really see that on a 5-minute time frame. That gap right here. On ES at least. Oh, that would be that right there between those two candles. Actually. So I'm wondering if we come down through the gap into the imbalance and then back above the gap and then send it to 42.14. Or just never tap into it at all and just run it. that's always an option as well. So I think 1 or 2 of you said no. 14 votes, 86% for yes, 14% for no. I wonder what the math is on that. So 1 or 2 of you want me to keep it to myself and to my team, even though I've already shared it publicly. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure what the logic is on that. Not sure what the logic is there. All right. Once, well, if we get this target, but I'm pretty sure it's a matter of when, not if. But either way, what I'm going to do is bring up what we talked about on, I think it was Friday or Thursday last week. Shit, I don't even know what day it was, bro. Because we stream here pretty much like every day now. Know what I'm saying? Oh shit. I mean, like, see, I can't stop cussing, man. I got a problem. That's why I forgot to turn off membership only for today's stream. I forgot to turn that off. I meant to turn it back to subscribers. Sorry. I'll turn on subscribers only. Because we're not at that point yet for every chat to be membership only. We're going to get there soon, but just not yet. I know there's still a couple of you that haven't got a membership yet for whatever reason. So my bad, but welcome, Marwin. That's got to be number 40. If we're not already at 40, we are definitely over 40 now. So welcome to 2-2, Marwin. Glad to have you. Glad to have you here. Ugh. Dow has done nothing. You know, this is a theory. I think the theory is if we wanted to long one of the indices, it may not be the S&P. I think the NASDAQ's probably the better index. So we can study that. So we'll see. If it was up to me, if that is the case, if that is the logic, 3,900, maybe like that low, and it's gonna be hard to get a 1 to 3 unless we go for this morning's high. I could see something like that maybe, but that's with the 5-minute entry and stop. That's not like smaller time frame entry, you know, trying to get something better. But I feel like that could probably be okay, because now we have upside objective for S&P, but if the NASDAQ is stronger, then I think that would be a pretty decent setup. And then same idea, the lunch low was ran at the beginning of the afternoon session. So if we are going to continue bullishly, I think that could probably be okay. But you guys already know, as always, I'm not a financial advisor. It's not financial advice. You know, trading on margin can rip your face off. It's not just a legal disclaimer, it's the truth. So, you know, that's why stuff like that has to be in there, because you need to be aware of the risks, and there are a lot of risks in trading on margin. Okay? Your futures account, if you have one, if you didn't know, it can actually go negative. It can go negative. You can lose more than your initial deposit. It's true. I mean, in futures, that's never happened to me. But I read that somewhere. I've read that somewhere. We're up to 19 votes. 84% of you still said yes. All right. Sounds good. What I'll do is I'll put something together probably today or tomorrow, and I'll share it sometime this week. So sometime this week. And then we'll go from there. And then we will go from there. 1 o'clock. So now we have a new hour. New 1 hour candlestick. So this is the opening of the hour, 15-minute and 5-minute. I mean, you could probably say 30-minute as well, but I don't really look at 30-minute time frames. Not really. What do you guys think? You guys think we're going to trade higher for the indices, or do you think we're going to trade or continue lower? What do you guys think? I mean, you could almost argue that this is a mitigation. At least on a 2-minute, it looks that way. Like that. Yeah, oof. Yeah, I mean, it looks all right. So I would study that as well. Like if it were me, you know, we do this all the time here on this channel. If it were me, I would put the time windows up here and then take a screenshot. I'll screenshot this. And then like see, you know, what happens a little bit later. Like at the end of the day, come back and see. So can we justify shorts? Personally, I cannot. I can't justify shorts with equal highs, much less triple highs. So I don't want to look to short this market. Do we have a reason to long? Well, we took liquidity already. And there's a little bit more to it than that, which I'll show you in a minute once we get something. The NASDAQ, you know, can I justify shorting the NASDAQ? No, it's our strongest index today. And it also took a recent low, broke structure, and now has a potential mitigation and imbalance overlap at a retracement level. I just can't tell. That's probably 50% retracement, so it's probably not the greatest. That 50%, you know, is okay. There's nothing crazy. The imbalance on the S&P is a little bit higher though. So you would technically be, you would be longing in a premium market. At least in the short term. Like it would be a short-term premium here. Like this gap and imbalance here is a short-term premium. However, if we zoomed out, if we look at the current range of the day, the current high down to the current low, okay, that run on this low that we talked about, and I said that might be a buying opportunity, but I'm not buying that, okay, logically, that is a discount market. Because, I mean, you could do fibs as well. Because I know in my book, I talked about how the 50% of ranges ends up being consolidation a lot of the times, right? Oh, well, what do you know? Consolidation at the 50%. Not bad for a book that's 2 years old, huh? Well, anyway, I taught you that below that is a, considered cheap or discount, whatever. And then I also taught you that above that is expensive or premium, whatever. So that's kind of what it looks like. I made mine look kind of like a stoplight, actually. Don't ask me why I did that. I just, it's whatever. I basically made it look like that. So in an ideal world, right? Buying low, selling high, whatever. Where is the liquidity on this, spectrum of high and low, right? If this is our high and if this is our low, the liquidity is up here in our higher end. It's in our premium, right? So that run on this low is where it's at a discount. It's at a discount. So what I'm telling you is this, and don't try to get lost with the colors and shit, okay? Colors and stuff, okay? What I'm trying to tell you is that this idea, right? Taking a range, cutting it in half or even thirds or fourths, fifths, it doesn't matter, okay? As long as you understand that halfway, 50%, you're likely to get consolidation. Below that is usually going to be good for, longing. And then above that is going to be good for, picking your targets and stuff like that. So do we need to make our chart look like a children's book in order to understand logic of buying low, selling high? You don't need that. You don't need that. Okay. But how is it that we're able to outline, well, that's a potential run, or, it could be, but we got to see the reaction or whatever, right? Like, how can we do that? Well, part of it is this, right? Part of it is that logic of premium, discount, buying low, selling high, whatever you want to call it, overbought, oversold. Okay. It's just also blending that idea that 50% are, potentially consolidations. It's hard to argue. That book was not written 2 years ago. It was published 2 years ago. Okay. And so, you can, if you have a copy, you can open it and you can see it. You can see this right in here is printed in that book. If you have it, I don't know what page number it is, but it's there. Okay. And so it's the same idea, right? Also, if we can't take everything out because we got that alert right there, and I don't want to get rid of it. Okay. I asked you guys about a reel the other day. I said, do you want me to make a reel on why your concepts don't work the same way as everyone else's do? Or it might seem that way, like, oh my God, these other people, they're taking good trades, but I take a good trade and it just rips through my imbalance. It rips through my, I don't know, institutional candle. It rips through my mitigation, but other people, it seems to work for them. Why doesn't it work for me? Well, I partly just answered that here today. A lot of it is the logic. A lot of people don't have a filtering system. Okay. Why also do you think that short-term low is also opening price at 830? I taught you that opening price is also a filtering system. Buying low, selling high, buying below the open. That was put out on a reel recently. That was put out years ago. Okay. The opening price logic. It's almost no different than a fib tool or a GAN box. Okay. It's no different because it's not math, right? It's not 618, 786 or 50%, none of that. It's the logic. Okay. Why do certain imbalances work and other imbalances don't? Well, the opening price logic, the fib logic or GAN logic, those are all filtering systems. Okay. So you have to have some sort of filtering system. If I went to, well, I don't want to use Michigan as it's kind of a bad example, but if I went somewhere, like let's just say a restaurant, if we went out to a restaurant and I asked you for just a water, okay? A lot of the times I actually don't want that. I really don't. I'd rather have a water bottle, okay? Why do you think that is? It's not me trying to be bougie or, you know, germaphobe or anything like that. It's just I know that a water bottle, or even like the one that I have that Siva put me onto, okay, there is a filtering system here, and it helps filter out a lot of the nonsense, a lot of the toxic chemicals that are in the water supply. So I don't trust, you know, water that is not filtered, okay? In trading, I don't like to take setups that have not been filtered to some degree or another. Okay? Mixed with NASDAQ going for highs and Dow possibly going for lows. But that's what I mean when I say, coming back to the whole point of the premium market, okay? In the overall broad perspective, I forgot which level this was at. And I just fluked that drawing too. Okay. So the discount that we were looking for was down in here. We didn't get that. So automatically, these levels here are technically in a premium. Okay. They're at a premium of the day, the current day's range. And it's also at a premium of the current range of this low up to this high. Okay. So if it were me, I still think we're going to get the idea that we talked about. I still think it's going to rip past the gap into the imbalance and then go higher. I think that is what's going to happen. If I were to long this, okay, I would probably have a reduced level of risk on that because it is at a discount of the day. It's at a premium for the day's range, and it's at a premium of the shorter term range. It's just we believe that price will extend above the current short term range and into the liquidity that is up in here. Okay, which is also liquidity of the current day's range. So that I think is okay. It's just not ideal. Obviously, the ideal long would have been down here. Okay, and I will tell you why here in just a minute. I will expand on that idea because we'll break it down to the 1 minute and I'll show you what price is done there. I mean, you can go look at it for yourself if you want to, but we're going to bring back what we talked about last week in terms of how far does price go beyond a low? How far does it go beyond a high or equal highs and stuff like that? And that is also the answer that I gave you is going to be reiterated down in here. So if you want to go take a look at it, you can, but I just still, oh, that's a 2 minute time frame. I still want to watch this on a 5 minute basis because I want to see this imbalance met, but the 15-minute gap respected, if that makes sense. Like if I could just magically print a candle, I would print one that allowed a candle to do something like this. Okay? Where it, on a 15-minute basis, where it dips down into that, but it closes above this gap. Or at least not 42.8.5. At least that or above it. Like that's what I would want to see. And then maybe launch above 42.14. Something like that. And then all the while we could be watching the NASDAQ as well. Okay, so same idea of buying low, selling high. So what is the current range of the day? Well, it's simple. You take a GAN or a fib, whatever. Our low was about 5 minutes before the open, and then there's our range. Okay. So have we gotten consolidation at around 50%? Yeah, looks that way. Not strict consolidation where it hasn't left that range at all. It's just look how many times we've traded around that. It's just gravitating around that level, right? And this run on stops, look how much of a discount that is, right? That is a discount. That is almost 78% of the range. Now we're above 50%, so we're at a premium. So this entry here is near 50%. It's a little bit above it, so it's a premium on the days range. But if it's our strongest index and if it's going to rally the most, I think that would be the better play still. Okay. So now do you understand a little bit more about logic? Do you understand a little bit more now why? Go back test the losses that you've taken. Okay. Earlier this morning, I was going to take this short, but I didn't. I was going to take this right here, but I did not. Oh shit. That's the wrong. I'm over trying to draw a box. I'm like, where's my box at? Okay. I was going to short that originally, but I didn't. Okay. Because number one, NASDAQ was our strongest index. And I told you guys, I don't want to short. I don't like to short the strongest asset of that day. So this to me, it would have went well for a little while and then it came right back up here again. But this imbalance, look where it's at in relevance to the range. This low, this high, it comes down, doesn't make a new low, but it comes back up. And look, it's the higher end of the range from this low up to this high. See that? It's way above 50%. So that's a, not a steep, but it's a very premium market. Okay. It's a very premium on that market. All right. Well, we didn't get the run to the imbalance. Well, we really didn't get into that gap either. I mean, we tapped it, but we didn't get into it. But it definitely has tagged the equal highs. So look at that. If you've been here the last hour and 20 minutes, what did we open with? We opened with, hey, this low might get ran. That's what I want to see first. And then a run to the highs. Wham, bam. Thank you, ma'am. Right? It's not all that difficult. Now, did I trade that? No. I didn't trade that. Personally, I didn't really find an opportunity after we left here. But again, it's in the recording. If you were here live, you know, you can argue this, but we said that might be a buying opportunity. I personally just wanted to wait. Okay? So now, if you thought we were done, guess again. Remember I told you last week, we talked about how far, okay, how far can price go below old lows or like a distinctive low, like a morning session low, London's low, previous day's low, last week's low, last month's low, stuff like that. What was the answer to that question? Some of you remember, and I need confirmation. I need you guys to let me know that you didn't forget that. See, if you think trading is hard, or if you think price action is hard, just rewatch the stream. And yes, you are allowed to call price and then not actually take a trade. It happens. It happens. Sometimes you don't get like you get a higher time frame reaction, but you don't get a small time frame entry. It just goes without you. Okay. That's part of it. That is part of it. Miguel said, look to the left. Okay, what are you looking for? Look for smart money efficiency above the previous high or below the previous low. Smart money efficiency. Okay. The old two birds, one stone concept. It can actually be three, but I usually try to look for just the two. Is there anyone else who wants to answer the question before we move on? I really want to see 42.14. I want to just see like 1 point above the high. I feel like that would I feel like that'd be a little ridiculous. I feel like that could be a little bit ridiculous. Well, look how close that came to 13,900. It didn't trade there. That's kind of a shame. All right, we'll keep that up there because we still got to do the before and after. But it did trade into the imbalance by like 1 tick. It did do that. So we'll have to keep an eye out for this. So technically, we need to set 2 alerts for the NASDAQ. We would need the next available high. Well, not next. Technically, it's this one, but just above that one, the morning one. It would be whatever this is. 13,926 and a quarter. And then we would need another one at whatever this high is. 13,946.75. Oh, did it cut out again? I was saying 13,946.75, whatever high this is. So we're still gonna imagine that we had taken that still for the practice and for the experience. All right. Looking for confluence. So what is confluence? If I said I lived a virtuous life, what does that mean? What are virtues? You see what I'm saying? Be specific. If I call Domino's right now and say, hey, I want a pizza. They're not just going to send me a pizza. They're going to say, what do you want on it? What size do you want? Small, medium, large, extra large, stuffed crust, pepperoni, cheese stuffed crust. You know, what flavors, what toppings do you want on it? Right? They're gonna be specific. It's the same thing. Same thing in price. I mean, we can simplify things, yes, but when we are studying things, we need to get into the details. All right. Now, I get that if English is not your first language and there's a language barrier, then you know you have. You know, I'm not gonna knock you on that. Okay, like I'll let that go. But if you're fluent in English, but you know, you don't have that full answer, then that is going to be an issue. Looking for price to take out traders and rebalance price at the same time, preferably above or below the open. All right, that's a better answer. You don't order Domino's, do you? No, Cameron. I haven't ordered Domino's probably in over 10 years. I think Domino's has the worst pizza. The worst pizza. If I get pizza, it's from one of 2 places. There is a pizza place that just opened up earlier this year, or maybe late last year, at the Kroger next to my house. So they're pretty good. Okay. Or I go to a place called Home Base Pizza. It's a mom and pop shop here, very near my house. I actually worked for them a very long time ago, before I was in the Navy. I think it was like 2013, 2012 or 2013. I used to deliver pizzas for them for, I don't know, like a few months or 6 months or something. They're very cool people. I promise you, if I walked in there today, they know me by name. They'd be like, oh, hey, John, how you doing? I'd be like, what's up, man? But yeah, I don't get Domino's or any of that other garbage. Okay, so the answer, right, that I gave you last week, regarding that idea of how far should a market trade below a low, how far should it trade above an old high, and things like that. Now, normally, we like to up the time frame. But in this case, we really didn't have anything on the higher time frame because this was a lower time frame run on liquidity. Okay. So notice, I didn't put this here on purpose, but notice where this question mark is at, right? It's below the low. Okay. So if you want to be very methodical, you can backtest this. All right. So we're looking for something that is where? Between this low and that low, right? We're not looking in here because this is above that low. We're not looking for that. We're looking for what was below this low. So we need below it. Okay. And over here on the left. Does that make sense? So I've highlighted an area, and we're going to take off opening price as well because I feel like that may throw some of you off. So we're only looking at what is within this gray box. Oh, we're going to change this to blue. Teal rather, because we talked about how we would long down in here or potentially long down in here. Okay. So what in here signifies a potential buying opportunity? What do you think? And I don't know anything about a Domino's hangover. I don't know anything about that. But what I can tell you is the last time that my friends and I ordered from Home Based Pizza, or the last time that I did rather, I had ordered it online and I got the Supreme Pizza with pepperoni and cheese stuffed crust. Oh man. I don't know what stoner out there decided that that was a good idea to put, you know, hey man, this pizza has cheese and pepperoni, but it needs more cheese and more pepperoni. Where are we going to put it? Put it in the crust, bro. Put it in the crust. And I'm sure that that's how that idea was born. So, you know, I don't know who that was, but they're a legend for doing so. Anyway. So you have technically two, because you do have this one up here, right? And this lower low here, it kind of, it doesn't fill that in all the way, but it does get pretty close. But this level comes in at 4204.5, and it's only 2 ticks below that low before this imbalance is really completed. So I could see why the market didn't respect that. However, the next available imbalance was down in here. Okay. So does everybody see how we did that? This is a small imbalance. Okay. Now you want a pizza. Don't get pizza. Get grilled chicken instead, man. Grilled chicken instead. We got to get our beach bodies on. You know what I'm saying? 4202 to 42 even 75. That is an imbalance below an old low in a market that we already thought was bullish. Bam. Look at that. And we got 4214. Take that, ladies and gents. How about that? 4214 finally secured on the table. The only reason for that is, number one, it's an even number. You know, I like my volume on even numbers. I don't like them on odd numbers. It just, don't ask me. I know some of you are like that way. We're not going to get into it. We're not going to talk about it. Okay. However, if you look all the way over here, just like with what we did with the low. Well, damn, John, how far is I going to go above the high? Well, I already gave you the answer to the low. There's actually two things here that I had my mind on. That small gap right there, which is at, oh, lo and behold, 4214. Right? What's the open on that? 4214. Oh, okay. Makes sense. And then just above this short-term high is this ridiculousness up in here. So I could also see how this whole range could be an imbalance as well. So I figured, all right, well, this is the higher imbalance, but this is the easier target. And then, lo and behold. Okay. Lo and behold. So again, man, price action is so difficult. It's so hard. Well, if it was really that hard, how did we outline this and then that? Not like every move in here, but we outlined run on the low and then run on the highs. And it did exactly that. Not highs and then lows. Lows and then highs. Right? It wasn't, well, we might get one and then the other. Like, no, it wasn't A, B, or this or that. It was nope, lows first, then highs. And that's what we got. Okay? So again, people say that trading is difficult or price action's hard or whatever. Is it? Is it? This right here, 12:15. Okay? Let me give you some more logic. You thought we were done? I can keep going. I love this shit. I can keep going. There's your afternoon session. We're going to leave that on there. Okay. So in a bullish market, right, the afternoon session, you would normally want to do what? Buy below the open, right? All right. Well, there's your open of the afternoon session. Where's that imbalance at? Below the afternoon session open. Come on. I know there's a lot of lines on here because we're annotating everything, but it's, it's really not all that difficult. And if you didn't take notes and you just sat here and kind of soaked it all in, I mean, it's good that you did that, but I would have definitely went back and took notes because look, there are not many people who can sit down for an hour and a half and just toss out a bunch of stuff. Okay. Some people do. Not everybody. I've seen some people. That's another problem. Remember we talked earlier about how, people are teaching like the wrong stuff sometimes and they goof it up. Bro, some people don't even know how to teach at all. I've watched some people and I would have rather watched paint dry. Because I'm just like, dude, get to the point. Or they talk slow, or the worst. Let me tell you what I have a problem with as we watch the NASDAQ probably take that high, which we also outlined beforehand, but whatever. Let me tell it to you this way. The thing I despise the most is when someone has an old microphone where you can hear everything. You can hear them cough, you can hear them swallow, you can hear keyboard, mouse, you can hear a fucking cat meow in the background. Like, when someone like that presents, I would rather shoot myself in the face. Seriously. Why do you think? Okay? Why do you think I have a Shure SM7B with, it already has a filter on it, but this is it's not like super expensive, but it's a $400 microphone. Okay? And I even have certain things on it. Let me see it's the filters. Okay. I have an equalizer, I have gain, I have a compressor, I have an expander, a noise suppression, and a limiter. Okay. I got all this shit on my microphone because I don't want you to hear that stuff. If I take a drink or if my chair squeaks or I don't know, dogs start barking in the background or whatever. Maybe I burp or cough or some shit. I try to not, do that. And I don't want you to hear those things. You know what I'm saying? Because I hate hearing that. So when someone presents and that's all I can hear, or like they cough, oh my God, dude. Someone posted a video the other day. There was this guy from Twitter. I'm not gonna say who it is, but he was presenting and it was either him or the guy recording. I think the guy recording had his microphone on. So he wasn't just screen recording. He was screen capturing and you could hear the shit around him. Now, look, Lord bless the guy's wife, okay? Because she was cooking and she brought him dinner. That's a beautiful thing. All right. But I could hear her walk over to the guy, hand him the plate, him using his fork or spoon to cut whatever it was and scrape and oh my God, I could hear the guy swallow his food. I'm like, holy shit, bro. I'm going to rip my beard off if I listen to this for another 5 minutes. I could just hear everything. So I'm like trying to hear the speaker present, and he's coughing. And then the guy recording was eating dinner. I'm like, dude, what are we doing? Y'all really just put this out here. And bro. Now maybe some people don't get bothered by that. You know what? Good for you. And I'm fucking jealous. Because that irks me, man. It's just like when people, you know, women usually don't do this, but it's usually the guys. It's usually older guys. When they're on their phone and they're watching a video and the volume's at like 100%. Just walking around like at the store, or they're sitting in like an employee lounge where I go to read, and they're just watching dumbass videos on 100%. I'm like, dude, I can hear that through my noise canceling headphones, bro. Where are they? Oh, they're over there. It's cool. I have noise canceling headphones and I can still hear that shit. People amaze me, bro. Just no self-awareness, like no consideration for anyone else. Dude, majority of the time, I'm a ninja. People don't ever hear me sneaking up on them. At all. Shit, I went to my friend's house the other day and their son let me in. Now, mind you, he's 6, right? So now he recognizes me, of course, but you know, he's at that age where now he can open the front door. You know what I mean? Like he can unlock and open the front door. And I know that his parents have been getting onto him about that. So, you know, the other day, I fucking walked into their house, right? Which is normal because I go over there every weekend. So it's like, it's not a big deal, right? And I'm standing inside their house and I look at him and I go, how did you know it was me? He's just like, I don't know. I'm like, what do you mean you don't know? What, you know, what if I was like a bad guy? What if I was a robber or something? Right? So anyway, and then I walk into their kitchen and that's when I saw them in there and they were like, oh shit. They were like, he let you in? I was like, yeah. You know, so like, but they never heard me coming. When I'm at Kroger, I bring my noise canceling headphones. I sit in the corner and I read. I don't make like any noise at all. Like you'll never know I'm there. Because I just think that's horrible. Now, okay, but let me back up for a second. In the car, though, that's a different story. When I'm in the car, you'll hear me at the gate. You'll hear me coming from the gate. Okay, I got Bose surround sound. I got the volume all the way up. I'm fucking screaming in the car. Like, you'll hear me coming. That's different, though. But everything else, dude, I'm silent. You won't hear me. Because I don't want to, like, bother people, you know? Especially people who read. But I can't bitch about it too much. To be fair, it is a public place, right? It's not an employee. The downstairs is not an employee lounge. Upstairs is the employee lounge, but the employees still stay downstairs because they don't feel like walking up the stairs, and I get that. But it was Epictetus. It was either him or Seneca who said, when you go, they had like public baths 2,000 years ago. So they were like, when you go to the public sauna, you already know people are going to run into you on accident. They're going to steal your shit if you're not looking. You know, people are very rude and obnoxious. So why do you expect them to be differently? Like if you go there, expect those things. So it's the same thing. If I go into a public place, whether it be Starbucks or whatever coffee shop, or even like Torchy's Tacos, it would be very arrogant of me to assume that, yeah, people are just going to be silent so I could read. You see how arrogant that sounds? So that's why I have noise canceling headphones, and I try to sit usually in the corner or just somewhere where there's not a lot of people. So that way the noise is somewhat minimized, but then the headphones do a pretty good job. The low music does a really good job, and then I can focus on what I'm reading. So, but it definitely took practice, because one time I went there to read without headphones, and it was like the greatest mistake, because I can't pay attention. You know, there's like probably some college girls or high school girls, you know, talking whatever drama and hee-heeing and shit over next to me, and then there's going to be some other teenagers or whatever from college that are running around probably stealing beer or some shit. They're making noise. The chairs and stuff is right next to a Starbucks, so you already know there's coffee machines going off. I mean, just bro, you ever want to realize, if you ever want to know how much real noise is in the world, just try and go somewhere in public and just listen. Just listen. Or try to fucking read, right? Try to concentrate on reading, and you will hear things you never heard before. You'll be baffled. You'll be like, oh my God, I didn't know this world was this noisy. Yeah. Oh yeah, it definitely is. But again, coming back to the point, it would be arrogant for anyone to assume that everyone around you is there to serve you. You know what I mean? So you have to expect tomfoolery. You have to expect the bullshit, in other words. Do you have MT4 for your computer? I can't seem to download it at all. And when I have, it just comes out being MT5. Okay, Christian. So if you download MT4 and it comes up as MT5, I can give you some very incredible insight. You didn't download MT4. You downloaded MT5. Okay? So there's a 200 IQ play for you right there. What I would do if I were you is go to your broker's website, and they will usually offer a direct link to get MT4. Andreas likes the 200 IQ play. On the other side, it's quite hard for a lot of people to be in complete silence. It's only hard because they make it hard. It's hard to be silent for people because they don't actively practice that. Think about it. I can't speak for anyone outside of the United States, okay? But I know in the US, everything that we do is noisy. Cars, to start a car, to drive a car, when you're around a bunch of people and you're talking and you're, you know, doing things or whatever, everything that we do in the US is noisy, period. And a lot of people are used to that. That's why some people can't sleep without a fan on. They have to have some sort of noise going on, right? Y'all know who I'm talking about. Hell, 90% of you are probably someone like that. And I don't mind it either. A small fan or an air purifier, you know, a little bit of white noise, that's fine. But why do you think some people can't sit in complete silence? That's a problem. Seriously, that is a problem, that you can't mentally do that. So it's not that they can't, but it is hard though, Liam. It is hard, but it is possible. And I think all of us have a different version of what we believe is hard or what we believe is difficult. I believe taking an ice bath is not as difficult as most people make it seem. Because I told my friends, I'm like, hey, look, I'll bring my ice bath. It's portable. I'll bring it over. I'll bring a bunch of ice and we'll take ice baths. And they're like, well, I don't know. I don't know if I could do it. You know, it seems really cold. Well, yeah, no shit. It's ice. It's going to be cold. That's the point. You know? But if you go into it thinking this is going to be hard, it's going to be difficult, I can't do it, then yeah, it's going to be that way. The only reason I did it is because, for the first time, is because I wanted to do it. I wanted to try it, to actually try it, right? And sure enough, that shit was cold, but I got through it. And now you know why I do it. I did it yesterday. I take ice baths now, not because I want to. I don't actually want to. I would rather sit in bed all day, eat pizza, watch Netflix or whatever, and just not do shit. That's what I'd rather do. Let's be honest. Right? But I take ice baths, cold plunges, whatever, however you want to call it, because of the benefits afterwards. I get super productive. When I read, I'm beamed in. Bro, I hopped on Counter-Strike. I took that ice bath and then I hopped on Counter-Strike a few hours later and I fucking dominated. Bro, I went like 14-1 the first game. Then I went like 17-2 the next game. I was ripping everyone's face off. With AKs and ops, I was literally destroying everybody because I was beamed in. All right. Testing. Are we back? Are we good? Of course, we get more viewers, and that's when we go out. We get up to 40 people, and then we clap. I can't even see my mouse anymore. Where the fuck? Oh, sorry. There we go. Okay. All right. You see, every time I start to go in, and then we lose focus here. We lose a train of thought. Let me see. The ice bath. What are we talking about? Yeah, Liam. Yeah. Well, it's not the microphone. It's actually the computer. It just resets the sound settings. I don't know why. It just does that. And I can't fix it. I've been trying it for years. Got new fucking RAM and everything. But anyway, let me continue. Since you guys are here, I'll continue. I feel like sometimes you like the rants. I don't take ice baths because I want to. I don't want to. But I do want to get the benefits. There is your new high, so that would be a partial if you longed that imbalance, that 2-minute mitigation. That right there would be a partial. So there's your first alert. And the S&P is now into the 17, so it's deeper into that 1-minute imbalance that I told you about here. It's deeper into that. So that's cool. Dow is trading higher with them, but it's still weak sauce in my opinion. So we'll see if we can get above that high. I mean, that should be easy for the Dow. Okay, and then we'll keep our eye on the NASDAQ here. I don't take ice baths because I want to. I take them and I do them because of the benefits afterwards. I get to focus more. I get to be more productive, and I just feel really good doing it. And just like I said on my story earlier, or yesterday, I said on my story, I'll probably make that into a reel as well. Another reason why we do that is because it is somewhat difficult, right? It's not fun being cold. It's not fun, okay? But when you do something hard, you do something difficult, everything that you do later that day or everything that you do over the next couple days is a lot easier. It's easier to wake up on time when you can get yourself through a ice bath. It's easier to be disciplined in your trading when you can be disciplined in the mind and the body. You'll go, I'm not going to take that trade. It's not part of my trade plan. Or, or whatever. I'm not going to take that trade because it's not within the time window. Or I'm not going to take that trade because, you know, John's bullish, so I'm not going to short. Good for you. Because if you did short if you shorted the NASDAQ against my bias, you're fucked right now. Not that I'm trying to be egotistical, but I'm just saying, you know, if you wanted to fade John like you wanted to fade Twitter, you just got your face ripped off. Pretty cool, right? Pretty cool. 4220s now for the S&P. And I think the Dow just took that short-term high as well. Not even close to the morning's high. Dirty Dow. You know what I'm saying? Dirty Dow. That's okay. But our last alert is 13,946.75. I mean, it's a pretty nice candle we got the last 5 minutes, because we ran from our first target almost to our second target in one 5-minute candle. So that's pretty good. If I was long from down here, I would feel pretty good about that high. This would have definitely been a partial, but I feel like that could easily be on the table for today. Oh man, price action is so hard. You sure? Because the last hour and 55 minutes prove otherwise. Again, not to sound egotistical. Not trying to be that way. It's just, we outlined a few things and they've been happening. So what is there to argue against that? Maybe external sound card? I don't know. I think I might just get a new computer soon anyway. Might just toss this one on the lake and be done with it. But yeah, you see, like, and again, I'm not trying to like bitch or sound ungrateful, but you got people out here that are getting 500, 600, 700 viewers, and they're not doing this shit. Like, they're not outlining levels beforehand like this. I mean, to some degree, yeah. I've seen some people do pretty good. Not everybody, though. I mean, some people, I don't know how on earth they're getting 800 viewers, 900 viewers. Because they're bullish and then the market tanks. And I'm just like, damn, like, how do you have that sort of retention? Like, how do you have retention with, you know, being like that? Because I don't understand it. I don't. I wish I knew. I wish I knew, but I don't. I don't know. It's just one of the many things that John Phibb does not understand. So, anyway, look at that pullback there. That's pretty strong on the NASDAQ. So, just for sake of argument, would I still take this? No. If the market comes down below this low, I would not long that anymore. All right. If we were still long from down in here, I said this new high was a partial, right? I would still want to hold for this high, but it still may come back and get the rest at break even. But as long as you buy low, sell high, whatever happens after that, it's not going to be, you know, necessarily bad, because you've already gotten something out of the market. And then if you reduce risk or took risk completely off as much as you could, then it's going to be a win break even or a win-win. Like, there's not going to be a win-loss. Like, that's not how it works. You know what I mean? So think about everything that you just learned in the last 2 hours. Opening price logic, Fibonacci / Gann logic, afternoon session opening price, lunch lows, morning session highs, strength or weakness, right? We looked at S&P, and then we also talked about NASDAQ and why NASDAQ was probably the better long. We talked about a little bit of trade management. I mean, to the extent of taking partials at a new high and why that, you know, would be advantageous for someone, because I could be wrong. That's always present, just so you know. Okay. It doesn't have to come up there. It can just make a new high and then completely, oops. It can make a new high and then just completely come back down again. You know what I mean? So, you know, you get logic there too. You get a lot of logic, man. You get a lot of logic here on this channel. So, no, I'm not in that trade. I wanted to long the S&P, but we never got what I was looking for. And even if we did, the risk reward is not what I would have wanted. So I let it go. The NASDAQ, even if I did put in an order at 13.9, it never filled. So even if I wanted to trade, that wouldn't have gone in anyway. So I tried to be too precise with that, which was just a 900 level, 0 level below the current market at the time. It was within this imbalance and the 2-minute mitigation. So logically it made sense. It didn't trigger though. I feel like if we do trade higher, now we're in the last hour. So that's what I would look for if it was me in the last hour. It looks like we ran a short-term low and now we're trading off of it. So if this is a run on trailing stops, then we should still see that continuation at 13,960, something like that. That's why it's called the Fibonacci logic. Yes, because it is a logic. It's not the math. It's not the 618. It's not the golden ratio or anything like that. Okay. The markets do not operate because of a formula that's just naturally found in nature. That's not the case. All right. But using it as a filtering system, you're able to potentially increase your accuracy with the concepts. All right? Think about this. Never mind. Never mind. Don't think about it. Don't think about it. This mitigation, it technically was in a premium, but that's okay. That is all right. It would have been better if it was lower though, but it's okay. It's most it's our strongest index of the day. But yeah, you learn a lot of things today. I knew I threw a lot your way, but that's how I like to be personally. Right? I like to be that way. I want to come in, lay down a bunch of shit, and then be done. All right, that whole beating around the bush, telling stories and showing like one example and then all right, see you later. Like, I think that wastes a lot of people's time. And I don't like to waste people's time because I don't like to waste my time. I don't want my time wasted. Oh, that was equal lows on a 1 minute too. So that's not a surprise. But yeah, we got some goofy candles up here. At least on a 5 minute time frame. But yeah, I don't like wasting people's time. You know, people have jobs, man. People have families. People have responsibilities. They don't want, you know, to try and, like, for example, this live stream. I doubt anybody is going to go back and rewatch a 3-hour recording. Even if they do, if I did a 3-hour recording every day of the week, no one's gonna catch up on that. 3 hours a day of John Fib? Fuck. Who's gonna watch that? Not very many people. But I think it would be beneficial to do that though, because of how much is actually in there. Okay? I've seen 3-hour videos that only had about 30 minutes of juice. Okay? And I cannot tell you how frustrating that is. Or, well, it was, rather. You know? It's... Time is our most valuable asset. And to just waste that, to waste someone else's time is just... It's very rude. And I don't think the Stoics would appreciate that. Because that would be a disruption of justice, right? The 4 Stoic virtues: wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. So justice is not just, you know, the law and applying the law, but justice is treating everybody fairly, right? Treating other people how you want to be treated. So the Stoics would go, if you purposely waste other people's time, that's not living in accordance with nature. That's not living in harmony with other people. You're wasting their time on purpose. Or, as I like to say, bitchassery. That's what that is. In my opinion. What's up, Alex? Are you late today? It's all gravy. It's all gravy. We outlined a few different things today. This low up to this high, and I think I would like to... Oh, we never got that alert because I didn't extend it far enough. Wow. That was a goober. That's what that was. But we did set an alert at the high of 1020 Central, and then we set an alert at the 850 Central high as well. Which I think we could still get, but if it comes back down into this imbalance, I don't think so. I don't think so. Price already ran a short-term low. If it is bullish, I think it's going to continue, but if not, this just may flop and go lower. So I could be wrong. And that's why taking partials on the way up is typically a good thing. Typically a good thing. Oh, JP Morgan is down, but Wells Fargo is up. Wells Fargo is up a little bit. Getting a couple good days in here. Nice little 2.7% on the day. That's all right. But let's see if we can continue this idea. I wanted to see us stay above the 40s, and we didn't do that. We came right back down into the 37s. But now we're back above the 40 again. So I think the next stop would be hopefully above this high. I'd like to see that pretty soon. And then good old JP Morgan. We started the day off all right. We actually gapped higher. We were up like 1% on the day. And now it's lower. So that's part of it. That's all right. But I still feel pretty good about it. So 145, I think, is still going to be on the table. And that'll be it for today. I don't think the euro is... I don't think it's doing what I wanted to do. I looked at the 108.50 level. I did mention that on Twitter today too, but it has also been range bound. So doesn't look good, at least for today. I can't speak for tomorrow. It may go up to tomorrow, but we also created some lows here today too. So yikes. Not sure what to do, but I'm not going to do anything with the euro. I'm going to leave it alone and focus on indices. So, actually, you know what? We'll probably cut it here for today. We'll probably cut it here. Let's go electric. But yeah, it's the final hour. We've already been here for just over 2 hours. So we got to see some good moves. We had some pretty good discussions. We talked about a lot of things. I'm not gonna rehash all that of everything that we just talked about, but we got a lot of good stuff in today. So that is what I'll leave you with. Might be wrong on the assumption for higher NASDAQ, but it would still be hypothetical, in theory, if we long down in here. This was a partial. If the stop was at now break even, then to me it would be a W on the day either way. And shit, if it was up to me, I'd probably put my stop at that low, to be fair, just to lock in a little bit more. And if that's a true stop run, then it may not trade down there again. So I'd probably lock in that low and then wait to see what the rest of the day does. But break even because of spread. Ooh, yeah. See, that's never fun. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and end it here. Y'all be blessed. I will see you guys tomorrow, same time, same place, right here on YouTube. If you got some value, don't forget to like. Oh, the like button doesn't work. Not yet. Hey, don't forget to drop a like if you got some value from today. Leave a comment if this is a recording. Let me know what you thought. Stay blessed. I'll see you guys soon.
I never thought I'd feel like this. Feel like this. Feel like I never thought I'd feel like this. Feel like this. Feel like I never thought I'd feel like this.
time in love like I should. Almost drank a leak from my bed. Yeah, I never thought I'd feel like I never thought I'd feel like I never thought I'd feel constellations. They remind me that this life cannot be lost forever. I watch my generation. It's so evident this world